So if one of them wins the conference tournament, then it actually defaults to the regular season champion, which is interesting because, Jacksonville made it to the conference tournament championship game, but yet Jacksonville State, who lost to Jacksonville, they go to the NCAA tournament. So it's kind of a weird process. But, our league's gotten better, and Jacksonville State's a good team. They're athletic. They can really shoot and defend. So it's going to be interesting to see, how they do, in the tournament. But, they have to shoot well. If they don't shoot well, then it's going to be hard for them.
You had a tough game against Bellarmine. Your offense didn't seem to work that night.
Yeah, we just didn't really score. We had some guys that were kind of a little banged up, and then everybody just kind of started taking away Darius, and making other guys step up, and we didn't shoot it well. Those guys that got good shots, because teams were really focusing on Darius. We just missed some good shots and some good looks in that game, but our defense kept us in it and gave us a chance to win, even while not shooting very well.
Okay, we're gonna watch a little bit of Darius Mcgee in a little while, especially that game against Florida Gulf Coast where he scored 48. How tall is that kid? 5'8", 5'9"?
Yeah, he's somewhere in there, 5'8", 5'9". Yeah,
I'm 5'8", 5'9", and I cannot score like him.
He is a dynamic scorer. I mean, he's really talented, and he can hit some tough shots. He's got deep range. He had some exciting moments this year for us. It was fun to watch.
I think he led the country in 3-point attempts this year, or something like that. He had close to 11 3-point attempts per game, if I'm mistaken.
Yes. Yeah.
That's an absurd number.
Yes, I know. He is so gifted in being able to get separation and create and make tough shots. So, there was a lot of situations where he made some really, really tough shots for us.
Αν είναι έτοιμος ο Δημήτρης ο Γάσπαρης να μας βάλει λιγάκι Darius Mcgee από το 7ο λεπτό και μετά, να δούμε 2 λεπτά από το 7 μέχρι το 9 στο βίντεο που σου έστειλα. Μιλάμε για ένα παίχτη 1,72. Έτσι, Κωνσταντίνε, είσαι πιο ψηλός εσύ?
Ναι, νομίζω 1,75 εγώ τον είδα σε επίσημα metrics, αλλά δεν ξέρω αν είναι barefoot or on shoes.
Είναι 1,72-1,73. Coach, how can you recruit a kid 5'8"? I mean, how easy, how do you operate this in your mind? Okay, you have a magic 5'8" kid.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, what are the thoughts that cross in your mind, pros and cons? And how do you finally not only offer him, but you build the team around such a short guy?
Yeah.
Is it risky? How risky is it?
Yeah, I mean, if he was taller, we wouldn't have a chance. And if he was taller, he'd probably, be a lock for the NBA, with his talent. So, our league that we play in, doesn't have the size, that a lot of the high major programs have. So once we get in conference play, you can get away with it. He even did well against, high major programs. His quickness and his quick shot ability, makes him an offensive problem, for just about anybody. The challenge is just on the defensive end, and so, our defensive system can really help, guys like that, because whenever a guard gets posted up, we bring a double team right away. And then our defense is designed to kind of keep the ball out of the paint and kind of force tough jump shots. So, you know, we can get away with having one of those guys on the team. And then, you know, with just his dynamic ability to score, it's definitely a plus, you know, on the offensive side.
Είναι έτοιμο το βίντεο, Δημήτρη? Okay, let's take a look of this magical. Here he is. 1.73, κυρίες και κύριοι. Απίστευτο. Darius Mcgee. Ούτε ιδιαίτερα δυνατός, ούτε τίποτα. Αλλά τρομερά εκρηκτικός και οξυδερκής.
Να προσθέσω κάποια νούμερα, Χρήστο, έτσι, για την κουβέντα, μιας και τα αναφέρουμε. Έτσι, φέτος, στην τελευταία του χρονιά, έτσι, στο Liberty, είχε μέσον όρο 24,6 πόντους.
25 points a game.
Ναι, με 39% στο τρίποντο σε 11 προσπάθειες. Έτσι, για 3,6 assist, το οποίο εντάξει, assist είναι λίγο νούμερο το οποίο μετράει διαφορετικά, πρέπει να το συμπορευθεί με άλλους παράγοντες. Και αυτό που έχει σημασία να τονίσουμε, Χρήστο, έτσι, είναι ότι απέναντι σε ομάδες του top 100 RPI είχε 21,4 πόντους με 30 τρίποντο, έτσι, και 43% εντός παιδιάς. Δηλαδή μπορεί να πέφτει λίγο στο τρίποντο, γιατί προφανώς θα τον περίμεναν, αλλά έτσι. Δεν ήταν ότι έπαιξε τόσο πολύ παραγωγικότητά του. Δηλαδή το να έχεις 21 πόντους απέναντι σε top 100 RPI δεν είναι μικρό πράγμα, είναι μεγάλο πράγμα.
He averaged 21 points a game against 100 RPI teams.
Yes. No, he can score against anybody. And the other thing, you know, I forgot to mention that really helps. He's got 48-inch vertical, which is. I hear you had something like that. You know, back in the younger years.
Not me.
So, you know, I had it on my sleep.
You had it.
In my dreams.
Right. So you know, just being able to elevate, get up, when he gets, you know, in the paint near the rim, that helps a lot. But yeah, just a dynamic offensive player for sure.
48-inch vertical. That is, πόσο είναι, Κωνσταντίνε? 1 meter and 30 centimeters.
1 inch is 254, I think.
254.
Let me convert it.
Let's convert. Yeah, please convert that 48-inch vertical to our metric system. Because
48. 48, έτσι.
Ναι.
Είναι 122 centimeters. 1 meter and 22.
1 meter and 20, 1 μέτρο και 22 εκατοστά επιτόπιο.
Ναι.
That's really high.
Yeah, it is high. Okay, because
close to my hip. He would be jumping like close to my hip.
Okay, if we can watch tonight's games, that, you know, because the first round is running, if we can watch Providence and South Dakota State. Το βάλαμε, Δημήτρη, αυτό? Okay, let's take a look at that game as well.
In Brookings, South Dakota. Terry Oglesby, Mike Greenstein, Anthony Jordan, our officials. Here we go.
You reached the March Madness last year, Brad, correct?
Yeah, we were in it the last 3 years. Obviously, the COVID year, they didn't play any games, but we were in it last year. We lost to Oklahoma State, and then 2 years prior to that, we Mississippi State in the first round. We advanced to the second round. We lost to Virginia Tech.
to doubling Watson. Watson has the obvious size advantage, forcing to be a passer.
6'10", 260, goes up with the right hand and scores.
Have you guys ever come over and attended any NCAA tournament games?
No. I attended an All-Star game 2 years ago, NBA All-Star game for the channel I was working as a commentator. But no, see, COVID messed us up the last couple of years. Too many restrictions, regulations. Imagine if we get caught with COVID in the States, then we're gonna have to be confined for like now 10 days, whatever. Things might become a mess.
Well, you got to put it on your bucket list. Attend a Final Four. It's really a lot of fun.
Yup. Δημήτρη, αν μπορείς, κατέβασε και αυτό που σου στείλα. Σου ήρθε κάτι?
Wow, nice pass.
I look like Eurobasket there right there.
And as we watch this, let me put a neat statistic that Providence is like 15-2 or 14-2 in games decided by single digits. So we might have another Cinderella story perhaps in Providence. They're one of the most tough to beat teams in the country.
Love that possession there from Wilson. He has a speed.
Yeah, Providence is really good, tough, physical team. They're going to be a hard out.
Especially Nate Watson and Jared Bynum. Boy are tough. Jared Bynum can get hot at any moment, and Nate Watson can dominate the paint and do his damage inside out. If only this kid had a legit jumper, he would be like a lottery pick, perhaps. Had a legit jumper.
That's what he has to do.
South Dakota State gave them a run, though.
Yeah, they're tough. They have a size. I mean, the playmaker Baylor Sherman has like 6'8", 6'9". How tall is he?
Yeah. They're really skilled too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Everything is about toughness and playing hard. That's their culture here. Get inside, make it an ugly game.
And Providence is one of my favorite schools because they play this kind of flex offense that they have many guys that they are interchangeable. They start like Bynum can start like a point guard, but then as the play develops, he can become the shooting guard or the small forward. With this flex offense they play.
Tennessee is given a blowout, 64-32 against Longwood.
Wow.
And Richmond is up by a point versus Iowa at halftime. I said it before. Richmond lately is in top shape. Baylor 85, Norfolk State 49. Memphis beat Boise State, as we said. And I'm very curious to watch Georgia State and Gonzaga. Do we have the Liberty game ready, Dimitri? Okay, let's take a look at Liberty, Mississippi State of 2 years ago.
Oh, wow.
To remember these days.
Yeah.
Λοιπόν, το Liberty τα τελευταία 3 χρόνια, εκτός από φέτος, ήταν στο ραντεβού στην τρέλα του Μαρτίου και έτσι για να τιμήσουμε και τον coach αλλά και το Liberty University, το πανεπιστήμιό του, θα δείξουμε τώρα τα τελευταία 2 λεπτά στιγμιότυπα από το πρώτο γύρο της March Madness πριν 2 χρόνια, Liberty, Mississippi State. Βάλ' το, Δημήτρη, αν είσαι έτοιμος. Here we are. Close game.
Yeah, they opened it up and took took a 10-point lead on us, and then we battled back. Hit
Tyson Carter.
Who?
Tyson Carter.
Oh, Carter, the guy who played for Lavrio.
Yes. That guy. He played for Mississippi State.
This guy developed in Greece.
Oh wow.
Tyson Carter.
Okay.
Yes.
And then our guy Caleb Holmesley is playing in Germany.
Yes, in Hamburg. Yes, and he's a very good player actually.
Yes, he's doing well. He's having a good season.
Yeah, he has EuroLeague offers all over him. I have heard that he has been approached by several EuroLeague teams.
Yeah, he had like 31 or 33 points in this game.
Wow.
Like right there, that's it there. Yeah.
Για τους Έλληνες φίλους μας να πω για το Holmesley ότι παίζει στο Αμβούργο, για όσοι δεν το ξέρουν, παίζει στο EuroCup και έχει ήδη αρκετές προτάσεις από ομάδες Ευρωλίγκας, έχω ακούσει, Χρήστο, να ξέρεις.
Πώς τον είπες?
Caleb Holmesley, του Αμβούργου.
Holmesley.
Θυμίζει πάρα πολύ τον Austin Hollins, όσοι το δουν δηλαδή, έχει πάρα πολλές προσπάθειες για τρίποντο, είναι λίγο πιο αντίθετος από τον Hollins που παίζει στον Ερυθρό Αστέρα, αλλά τον θυμίζει πάρα πολύ γιατί τον έχει πάρει και ο ίδιος προπονητής που είχε πάρει και το Hollins στη Γερμανία. Ναι, ο Πέδρο Καλές που ήταν στη Ράστα στα Βέχτα, τώρα έφερε το Holmesley στο Αμβούργο.
Λοιπόν, εδώ είναι Mississippi State με Liberty. Ίσως η κορυφαία γιορτή του παγκόσμιου μπάσκετ κατά την άποψή μας, η March Madness, γιατί συνδυάζει ταλέντο, νιώτη, παιδαγωγούς, προπονητές, κόσμο, έτσι, εκατομμυρίων την παρακολουθούν, suspense και πάνω απ' όλο αγνότητα και λόγω των ηλικιών, γιατί τα παιδιά όλα αυτά είναι από 18 μέχρι 23 χρονών περίπου, όλα. Coach, can you give us a Final Four prediction?
Yes, so my Final Four is Arkansas.
Wow.
How come?
I didn't see that one coming.
Please justify one by one the teams you pick. Why Arkansas? Because of Musselman?
I mean, their style of play, they're tough. Like I think the SEC was the best league in basketball this year, and so they're tough. They've got NCAA tournament experience, and so obviously I had Gonzaga meeting them, and I just think Gonzaga's kryptonite is, athleticism and teams that are just tough and can just really, defend them, kind of like what Baylor did to them in the championship game last year. I mean, maybe not, but the last few years in the NCAA tournament, teams that are really good and sound defensively have done well. Baylor won it last year. They were really, really good defensively. The championship before that, Virginia won it, and even all the teams, I mean, Auburn, Texas Tech, and Virginia that were all in that Final Four were all really good, defensive teams. So that's the team I had coming out of the West. I've got Baylor coming out of the East. I think Baylor's, obviously they've got a lot of experience. They won it last year, and when it comes to NCAA tournament, experience is really, really valuable. And then I've got
another SEC, Auburn or Tennessee.
No. I got Arizona coming out of the South. They are just really, really big, and they're they can score. Obviously, they play fast, but their size just really helps them on the defensive end too. I see, Illinois, Houston in that bracket is going to be a really good game. Two just tough, rugged teams. But I think Houston just, with having, I think one or two of their top players are out. I just don't think they have enough to, make a run past that. And so, Villanova, I know they're the 2 seed. I just don't think anyone can match up to the size, that Arizona has overall. So I got them. And then I got Kansas coming out of the Midwest. And I know Auburn, Auburn's in there. I liked Auburn early on, but, they dropped some games there toward the end. So, I mean, they're definitely talented enough to make a run and, go all the way to the Final Four or win a championship. They just seem to be a little inconsistent, kind of coming down the stretch. And so, those teams can always, rise up and make a big run, or they can, get knocked out earlier than maybe you would expect. But I think that's 3 number 1 seeds. So I know that, I'm not predicting too many upsets or whatever, but those teams just, seem like they have good rosters and good experience to be able to.
Konstantine, give us your Final Four.
On the meanwhile, can we see the photo that I have sent to our conversation about... Δημήτρη, αν μπορούμε να δούμε τη φωτογραφία που είχα στείλει.
Ναι, στο Messenger είχε στείλει μια φωτογραφία.
Ναι.
Για συνέχισε, Κωνσταντίνε.
Μ' αρέσει το pick πάντως του Arkansas, να πω την αλήθεια. Αλλά...
They got a guy similar to Mcgee, Likes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. The short guy, 5'9" guy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he played for Miami.
Oh, he came from Miami.
Yeah, he was transferred this year.
He's a transfer. Okay, can you explain to us this chart?
Yes, of course. In English or in Greek?
In English.
Well, what we see here is let's say the efficiency map of the 64 and plus 4 teams that consist of the NCAA March Madness. What I mean by efficiency map, we see the best offensive teams are placed higher, or are on top, and the best defensive teams are on the right side. And this chart measures them on efficiency. So, to speak efficiency, is the productivity on defense and on offense on 100 possessions. And why do we do this on 100 possessions? Because teams play on different pace. So, a team that scores 75 points on 68 possessions per game is not as efficient when a team scores like 80 on 72 possessions per game. So we round them up on 100 possessions so we can have an even playing field and compare them evenly. So we see the better defensive teams, the teams that allow the less points on 100 possessions on the right of our screen. So we see good defensive teams like Tennessee, Texas Tech, Houston, of course, San Diego State, and LSU, that they are the best defensive teams in the country. And as we go higher on the chart, we see the best offensive teams, the teams that score more 100 possessions, like Gonzaga, like Vermont, like Davidson, like Duke, and so on. So we can get a glimpse of what we see, who are the best defensive and who are the best offensive teams objectively, in a way.
Interesting.
Yeah, that is.
This is a chart from Synergy Sports. It's not mine, so I have to give credit where it's credit due. It's from Synergy. It's not mine.
Okay, so give us your Final Four given this fact, this chart, actually.
Given this chart, so I have to go with, in the West region, I have to go with Texas Tech because it's one of the best defensive teams, and I think it's the most underrated team in the whole tournament because, boy, they can defend. They can play tough defense, and as Coach Soucie said, Gonzaga kryptonite.
Defense wins championships while offense just, buys tickets.
Yeah, so I will buy the statement from Coach Soucie that Gonzaga has troubles against tough physical defenses, and boy, Texas Tech, despite Chris Beard left the program, it still has the same identity, playing tough defense, and I think they are the most...
Okay, you told us about Texas Tech. Go on.
Okay. In the East, I have Baylor as well. I think they have a chip on their shoulder because they lost a few games. People kind of see them as okay. They've done it the previous year, so they have nothing to prove now. I think they are wrong because Baylor can prove people wrong. On the South, I will go also with Arizona. I will not change anything from what Coach Soucie just said. And on the Midwest, I think I will go with Auburn because they have the talent to go all the way for me. And Kansas might seem better team on paper, but I buy on Walker Kessler rejecting everything on, on the low block. So I will go with a full defensive stalwart on the Final Four. So get yourself some eye drops and prepare for a defensive showdown with my Final Four.
Wow, so this is shocking because everybody here in the States thinks that you guys only care about offense and you love offense and don't want to play any defense. But now I see the wisdom now that you're embracing the defensive side.
Of course.
Yes, defensive teams go far. That's what I have seen from all these years being a member of this podcast.
Brad, tell me about Kentucky. Actually, I didn't like them this year. I expect them to get better every year, but I don't see this happening. Many people, start to talk about Calipari system and recruiting. What's wrong with Kentucky, if there is something wrong?
I mean, he's been really successful, as far as like Final Fours and championships, I'm sure they would want a little bit more success, from that standpoint. But, he's embraced the one and done,
Yes.
Recruiting process, which, to me, the teams that have been in the championship games and won the championships, they're older players. And so I think college basketball is changing where it's not just about talent, because on paper, I mean, you'll see multiple players on their team get drafted. But I think it's just, as far as bringing that all together and making it gel in 1 year and then having to do the same thing the next year with, new impact players. I mean, I know not everybody's one and done on their team, but they seem to always be bringing in a couple guys that are really talented, and then everybody else has kind of got to, figure it out. And it's a hard way, and I think he's been trying to figure that out. But I think college basketball is rewarding, the juniors and the seniors that have just been in the rigors and have the experience, and, they know how to sacrifice maybe for the betterment of the team. Those teams have just had more success. So it's been a, even Duke has, kind of embraced the one and done, and they haven't, won as many championships or whatever. So I think, when you have freshmen, you're relying on freshmen. There's, there's just some toughness and maybe experience that they may be lacking, to go deep in the tournament.
See, as a philosophy, our platform here in Greece, which numbers 46,000 members, and in many discussions we're having at several fora we run and we post, we embrace exactly this, that this marketing business-oriented thing, the one and done, is not good for the game, actually. I mean, okay, it's flashy, it's money making, it's exposing, it provides exposure to schools, but at the end, the god of basketball pays off the juniors and seniors. I mean, God respects and embraces seniority, and you cannot mess with this. And just like you say, very wisely, Coach, when time comes, you see all these teams who embrace one and done, which is okay. We have democracy in the Western world. Okay, it's athletic director's decision, the school's philosophy in general. Okay, we respect this, but at the end, senior teams are the one who are usually being rewarded, and Duke falls into the same category too.
Yeah. No, you're absolutely right. It's like, I mean, you've been around the game long enough. It's the most talented teams don't always win. It's more of the most connected teams, that play well together. They, sacrifice parts of their game for the betterment of the team, and, I mean, it's good to see that, I don't think you can ever get rid of the one and done, I mean, it does provide, some fun for college basketball because those guys are extremely talented. But I think it's just hard from a coaching standpoint. It's almost like you're starting over every year.
Yeah, exactly. And who usually takes this decision? Let's say the head coach or the athletic director. I mean, on what, whether we're gonna, follow that one and done model.
Yeah, I mean, I think Calipari and Coach Krzyzewski probably have more power than both of their athletic directors.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, it's their choice. And, I mean, it's, when you're a head coach, it's hard to pass on talent.
Yeah, it's fascinating.
Yeah, but it's just, there's just, when you get to your junior and senior year, you just have so many reps at that level, and you have so much experience, and that's just so valuable. You just can't duplicate that in a one-year player.
Okay. Constantine, shall I have faith in Purdue for the Final Four, or you will laugh at me?
I will laugh at you because Purdue are chokers big time.
See, there is a kid who I really respect, Sasha Stefanovic, who is playing there, and I know his dad. And that's why, I'm just thinking more sentimentally. But if I want to stay on the same page, because I grew up in the South, in Georgia, I would love to see two teams of the SEC in the Final Four. Let's see if they make it. My bet would be on Tennessee and not Kentucky. I don't really like, those big blue blood teams. Let's see, maybe Kentucky or Auburn, and from the other side, Gonzaga and Arizona, and obviously Baylor. Definitely, could be into it.
No, those are good.
Okay, let's wrap it up. Let's see if there are any latest developments. Let's check out the scoreboard to see if we have any final score before we we close tonight's podcast. Well, Tennessee is up by 33 right now. I bet, Coach Barnes is emptying the bench to provide some rest to his starting lineup. Iowa.
Speaking of Tennessee, I have seen their junior point guard Santiago Vescovi long time ago, so I'm a big fan of this kid.
You watched him in FIBA in South American basketball.
No, I have watched him in a NBA Global Camp in
NBA Global Camp. Yes.
Treviso, 4 or 5 years ago.
Yes, Vescovi. Yes. He was the MVP, I think.
Yeah.
Okay, Iowa picked it up 39-34 versus Richmond. The Gonzaga game just started. Gonzaga is up 4-2, but it's way too early. Just like I said before, Baylor beat Norfolk State 85-49. Providence 66, South Dakota State 57. Memphis beat Boise State. Michigan beat Colorado. Soon. What about Marquette, North Carolina? 9th seed and 8th seed. Do you think that's going to be a close call, Brad?
Yeah, again, that's, North Carolina is one of those teams that on any given night, they can be really, really good. Like you saw them just pound Duke, the last game of the regular season, at Duke. And then, they cannot really, look so great, and just kind of be so on defense. So, they're kind of one of those wild cards where they've got enough to make a deep run, but you just, their consistency is just up and down.
How come North Carolina has been away from, from titles and glory and fame? Are they a victim of this one and done thing as well? Not really. I wouldn't say so.
Yeah, no, I think Roy Williams, he wanted to get the best players, obviously, but he wasn't, as committed to the one and done as like Duke and Kentucky were. I just think, right now it's just the different, new coach, new staff. They're just working through, some things. I think maybe they lost out on some recruits, for a few years, and I can set your program, back a little bit. But they'll be back. I remember when I was at Virginia, we played there. Their history is rich, and they do this thing before every game. They, on the video board, they're like, Sam Perkins and I'm a Tar Heel, Michael Jordan and I'm a Tar. And the list is like, you're like, oh my gosh, like they've had so many great players. It's like, it's intimidating, that's why they do it. But I'm sure they'll be back. Hubert Davis is going to, do a good job. They had a good turnaround toward the latter part of their season.
Okay, so when you were at Virginia, who was the head coach?
Tony Bennett.
Oh, so you coexisted with my friend Ron Sanchez?
Oh my gracious! Yeah, absolutely. For 6 years, we were on the staff.
We had Ron 3 years ago here at a clinic at ACS in Athens, where Rob was 2 years ago and last summer.
Oh no, Ron is terrific. Yep.
Yeah, Ron. He's at Charlotte now. He's doing well. He's starting to to turn the program around.
Yeah. They've had some key transfers, that have kind of hurt a little bit. It's really getting competitive now, with just, kids can go in the portal and
He lost Shepard. He went to Cal, as a graduate. That was a big loss for him. Anyway, it's going to be a long weekend, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Okay, we're going to enjoy lots and lots of March Madness. Coach Soucie, it was a pleasure. It was an honor to have you here. We want to wish you the best in the next chapter of your basketball career, wherever this is gonna be like. Κωνσταντίνε, σε ευχαριστώ και πάλι αδελφούλη που ήσουν απόψε μαζί μας. Brad, we're gonna talk soon, okay?
Yeah. Thank you.
It was wonderful having, sharing your knowledge and, especially this year's recap you provided to us. So this was it, fellows. Αγαπητοί μας φίλοι, όσοι μας προτιμήσατε από το Ολυμπιακός Παναθηναϊκός, σας ευχαριστούμε πάρα πολύ. Ούτε εμείς το είδαμε, αλλά τρέχει το March Madness, δεν μπορούσαμε να μην κάνουμε εκπομπή. Νομίζω σας δείξαμε αρκετά ωραία βίντεο, αναλύσαμε κάποια πράγματα, γελάσαμε. Έτσι λοιπόν τη Δευτέρα θα έχουμε και πάλι Restart Youth και την επόμενη εβδομάδα θα ξανά έχουμε πάλι March Madness με τα αποτελέσματα του δευτέρου γύρου. Καλή σας νύχτα.
Καλό βράδυ.